Bow! Puppeteer here, and today you are in for a treat, a tiny morsel of entertainment. The story of two Chipotle towers. Two setups for the price of 1.85. I'ma pull Quentin Tarantino on ya. Yup, doing it right now. I'll show you the Arc of Surging and Stormbrand of Indecision combo in about a minute, and so stay tuned for that. But right now, just enjoy the majestiveness, nay, the sandociousness of this poisonous arc of discombobulation. This build is just like Arfingus and Broldengurb, both lightning and poison Pokemon. With their bird-like reflexes, they strike their foes down in perhaps quarter of an hour. Actually, one of my all-time favorite episodes is number 47, the one where Arfingus battles Ilomon and wins with ease.
Pre-order your Pokemon now.
Only sold in Blockbuster stores near you. Coupons are not accepted at any locations. Pre-order your Pokemon now.
Back to the build. This version that you see before you now is in fact the non-Voltaxic Rift variation, which is more diverse and not so much capped on trivial things like offense and defense.
What?
Depending on your budget or playstyle, you can choose your own adventure, just like Jack with his beanstalk and the terrible choice he had to make. The clear isn't as good because we lack explosions, but it's still fine enough to play secretly at your nephew's birthday party that you didn't want to attend to begin with, but were forced to due to family obligations. Alright, moving on to Voltaxic Rift variation. Right off the bat, wow, the clear speed is noticeably better. In this version, I didn't have room for wither totems, nor am I using an Arctic brand. Arcanist brand to spread curses. Instead, I have a 6-ling stormbrand of uncertainty that I use in conjunction with Arc to kill mobs. I sort of alternate between casting each spell, and it feels pretty good overall. A lot less buttons to press, but I still rely on Hydrosphere to kill any tough enemies. Since I'm using a unique bow, there really isn't any way that I could think of to scale this build higher. So even though this is what I started with, I gravitated towards dual wielding two rare weapons. Alright, enough amazing gameplay footage. Let's go over the gear for both setups. Once again, using these beautiful boots, but this time around, I wanted to focus on frenzy charges and endurance charges, hence the replica badge of the Brotherhood. Frenzies are for overall damage and cast speed, but also to get affliction charges with my belt, which provides more damage over time. Before you ask, no, this is not a Magic Find build. Sorry, you're not supposed to see this. This, don't worry about this tab. How did this get in here? Let's just move it real quick. Let's not, just pretend you didn't see anything. Not a Magic Find build. Anyways, with Voltaxic Rift setup, 100% of the lightning damage gets converted into chaos, which is nice. I thought the Cadogan's crown would complement it because elemental overload is far away for us on the tree to get, so the bow has a decent DPS, so it adds a good amount of damage, hence why I'm using it. In order to generate affliction charges, I'm using Replica's Maloney's mechanisms, which has Frenzy, Withering Touch, and GMP. Don't worry, I'm not kidding myself. It's like a 3% chance to inflict that Wither stacked with my bow because of my accuracy being non-existent. For the rings, this one is pretty nice. Life gain per enemy hit with spells, cast speed, life, chaos res, what more do you want? The other one is not too bad either. Some stats, life, evasion, chaos res. Something to look for in rings perhaps could be damage over time and lightning damage. Now, I know, you know where this is going. I'm a huge fan of precursor rings this league. And I was using this one for a bit, which allowed me to drop the frenzy setup in my quiver. But if you can find one like this with 16% physical damage reduction and have a usable third suffix, it's a steal. Get it. Buy it. Don't even think about it. Just get it right now. With this ring, if I was still using this ring, I'd be at 48% physical damage reduction. Not too shabby. For my charms, I have poison damage, huge quality of life, recover stuffs on kill. Yay. Suppress damage and chance to inflict withered, and recover 3% of life using flask and increased flask effect magics Yeah. Initially, the goal was to have all 3 charms be this, and combined with Flask Mastery would be almost 20% of life recovery per flask. But at the end of the day, it's not necessary, at least in my setup and the content I'm running. In order to achieve 100% poison chance for spells, I have 1 passive point, 1 5% jewel, 3 septic spells, cluster notables, and Herald of Agony. Instead of taking Reservation Cluster, I took the Mana Mastery to get 10% reduced mana cost because Malevolence on a blessing is very expensive. Something to consider is going for Eldritch Battery, perhaps. What else? What else? What else? 100% spell suppression, 32 fizz reduction, 28k evasion, pretty good. I do have Fire Song Jewel, 34% ignite reduction, duration jewel, and that which was taken with another 39%, giving me total of 93% reduction duration of elemental ailments. Trust me, more than enough for, dare I say, all content. But if you have a Storm Shroud jewel and maybe run a flask with Shock Avoidance, you can become immune to elemental ailments that way too. Now, dual wield setup. As mentioned before, much more versatile. I was running an oscillating scepter for that EO I crafted myself, which is still pretty meh. And the other scepter I bought for 20C. If you already have more than enough damage and or want more defense, you could use a Dawnbreaker shield, Taste of Hate, Watcher's Eye, with that beautiful physical damage taken as elemental damage taken conversion. Something of note, if you run this setup, you are using lightning damage and it's not converted to chaos anymore, so be aware of Ellie Reflect maps. And the way we poison is through Valkyr's Gloves. This enables me to switch out one of my Septic Spell cluster notables for Eldritch, Inspiration, and Flow of Life 1, which gives me more life, mana, nice. You also have to swap out Void Manipulation Gem for Elemental Focus, otherwise you do no damage, of course. When it comes to Helm, you can once again use a helmet that has an affix and an implicit fizz taken as elemental damage conversion. However, myself, I wanted a bit more life, damage, ES, mana, just an overall balanced helm. Crown of the Inward Eye, cannot go wrong with that. Oh, and I swap out the Magic Utility Flask Effectiveness Charm for Frenzy Charge on hit, so that's another way of getting it. Since it's a poison build, you can also run Plague Bear and Withering Step, yeah? Don't let me hold you back. Last thing I'm going to say, try out the other lightning spells. Maybe there's one that you like more. Test it out. Let me know. I tried just about all of them. I ended up liking this setup the most, Stormbrand and Arc. But it's up to you. Play the game how you want to play it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time with another beautiful...